Listen deeply, radiant soul, for there is a quiet shift echoing through the fabric of this month, a pulse in the unseen that you may have already felt in the way your thoughts wander differently, in the way your heart feels called to something greater. This is not imagination, this is not coincidence, this is a rare alignment that has been long foretold, not only in the silent wisdom of Buddhist sages, but in the cryptic verses of Nostradamus and the luminous visions of VANGA. They spoke of a time when the balance between heaven and earth would tilt, and a door invisible to most would swing open for the prepared few. That time is here. Welcome to old Buddhist philosophy, where we walk in the space between silence and speech, between the seen and the unseen. Here, we do not chase luck, as if it were running from us. We invite it, align with it, become it. The ancients knew that numbers are not mere quantities, they are living frequencies, each carrying a vibration that can call events into form. The Buddha once said, "Our life is shaped by our mind, we become what we think." In the same way, your alignment with the right vibration can shape your destiny, opening the flow of abundance both within and around you. But understand this, the universe does not hand its treasures to those who are asleep. This moment is not only about wealth, it is about awakening, about stepping into the version of yourself that has been hidden behind layers of doubt, habit, and fear. If you have felt trapped in repeating cycles, as though your days have been echoing the same lessons, then perhaps you have been in the final stage of a karmic completion, the part just before the breakthrough. VANGA said, "There comes a time when even the smallest light will reveal what the shadows tried to hide. That light may already be flickering in your soul." In numerology, this period carries the vibration of 3, the sacred triad of creation, mind, body and spirit, aligning toward a single intention. It also resonates with 8, the number of infinite cycles, where endings are not final but gateways to new beginnings. This is why certain people, and yes, certain zodiac signs, will feel a sudden pull toward a new path in these months. The stars are not simply moving, they are humming in harmony with the deepest rhythms of your spirit. So pause. Let the noise of the world fade for a moment. Ask yourself, what am I being called to create in this season of my life? Which old pattern is ready to be released so that a new energy can take its place? If abundance knocked on my door today, would I be ready to welcome it without fear? If your heart says yes, then speak it into the universe, declare it below. I am aligned with abundance. I am open to receive. I trust the timing of my life. Remember, the second half of 2025 will not simply bring change, it will rearrange destinies. Nostradamus wrote of seasons where fortune would arrive like a tide, quietly at first, then with unstoppable force, transforming the lives of those ready to step forward. And VANGA's prophecy speaks of a light in the darkness that will guide seekers toward both material success and spiritual peace. This is not a season to sleepwalk through, this is a season to awaken with intention. The question is no longer, will change come? The question is, will you be awake when it does? Cancer, the emotional architect of transformation. Cancer, ancient keeper of the tides, the moment you have quietly sensed for months has now arrived. This is not a mere chapter turning, it is the rewriting of your entire book. You, more than any other sign, feel the subtle stirrings of fate before the world notices them. You notice the shift in the air before the storm comes. You sense the undercurrent before the river bends. You read the language of silence before a word is spoken. But this time, Cancer, the change is not passing you, it is becoming you. In the sacred mathematics of numerology, the vibration of 7, the seeker's number, steps forward in your life now, guiding you inward to find the truths that will set the course of your outward destiny. Alongside it, the 8 rises, the number of infinite cycles, calling you to break old karmic loops and step into your role as creator rather than caretaker. And hovering just above these is the energy of 2, the harmonizer, urging you to balance the deep waters of your emotions with the clear skies of reason. Together, these numbers form a spiritual equation for rebirth. Nostradamus once wrote of a season when the waters of the soul would rise, not to drown, but to cleanse, a time when those ruled by the moon's pull would emerge from their shells, walking in the world with their truest selves uncovered. And Baba Vanga, in her quiet visions, saw a year when the intuitive would remember gifts they had forgotten, abilities carried from other lifetimes that would awaken suddenly, as though they had been waiting for this exact moment. Cancer, this is the prophecy touching your path now. The transformation coming for you is not cosmetic, it is structural. Your routines, priorities, relationships, and even the image you hold of yourself are being rewritten from the inside out. The comfort zones that once felt like safe harbors may now feel like cages. The people or habits you once leaned on may now feel like weights holding you to a shoreline you no longer belong to. This is not loss, this is clearing. The universe is making space for the currents that are on their way, new opportunities you could not have planned, allies who will appear in perfect timing, and moments that feel less like chance and more like the unfolding of a script written long before you were born. Dreams may become more vivid now, layered with symbols, water flowing upward, moons glowing in strange colors, bridges you walk across but never return to. These are not random visions, they are maps. Pay attention. The numerology of 3, the number of creation and manifestation, joins your energy here, reminding you that every thought, every belief, every choice you make now is a seed planted in the soil of your future. Yet the sea will test you before it delivers you. Your gift has always been depth of feeling, but the same waters that heal can also drown if they are not navigated with wisdom. Buddha taught, do not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. This transformation asks you to let your emotions move you without letting them control you. Trust your sensitivity, but let clarity hold the compass. By the time 2025 reaches its closing chapters, the world you walk in will mirror the world you have built within. Recognition will come, but not as a trophy. It will be the reflection of your courage to live aligned with your truest self. Emotional peace will no longer be something you chase. It will be the ground you walk on. So pause here, Cancer, and ask yourself, which patterns have I been clinging to that I know, in truth, I must release? If I stepped fully into my higher self today, what would I leave behind without hesitation? Am I willing to let go of the familiar shore and trust the deeper waters calling me? What vision has been waiting quietly in my heart, and what would happen if I finally followed it? If your soul answers yes, then speak it aloud, write it in the comments, and send it into the flow of the universe. I am ready to rise. I trust my transformation. I welcome the life that is waiting for me. August is not the peak. It is the tide beginning to turn. The moon, your celestial ruler, has shifted in its pull, and the ocean within you answers. This year will not simply pass through you, it will be built by you. And in the decades ahead, when you look back on this moment, you will see it not as a small step, but as the sacred threshold where the soul you truly are finally stepped forward. Leo, the silent guardian, awakens. Leo, the stars have turned their gaze toward you, and in their timeless silence, they speak your name. This is not the roar of a lion seeking to be heard. It is the deep, steady heartbeat of a soul that has finally found its rhythm. You were not born for the noise. You were born for the resonance. This moment is not about being seen. It is about being felt. It is the sacred hour where your presence becomes more than personality. It becomes medicine, guidance, and light. For years, you've been the fire that warms others, sometimes without them even knowing the source. You've lit torches in the dark for those too afraid to move forward. But this new cycle asks something greater from you. not just the spark, but the steady flame. The universe is placing in your hands a responsibility few are trusted with, to guide, not just to shine. This is the quiet coronation, the moment the crown is felt, rather than worn. In the realm of cosmic alignments, Nostradamus spoke of leaders who would rise not through conquest, but through the sheer gravity of their spirit. Baba Vanga whispered of those whose light would hold nations together when fear threatened to fracture them. This is the prophecy you step into, not one of grandeur for its own sake, but of purpose so pure it cannot be mistaken. Your roar will not be a sound this time, Leo. It will be an atmosphere, a silent force that shifts everything it touches. Financial abundance will flow to you, yes, but understand this. It is no longer the prize. It is the byproduct. When your inner and outer selves align, when your leadership flows from love rather than ego, when your actions echo truth rather than desire for recognition, the world responds with resources, opportunities, and blessings. You will not have to chase. You will attract. You will not have to prove. You will simply be. But with this rise comes the sacred discipline of humility. The Leo who seeks applause fades quickly. The Leo who walks with quiet strength shapes centuries. Ground yourself in stillness so the power you hold does not consume you. Move slowly enough to hear the whispers of your own soul between the noise of the world. When doubt comes, remember, your worth is not in the crown others see, but in the way your presence makes others feel safe to dream again. So, walk forward now, silent guardian. The path ahead is lit, not by the spotlight, but by the light within you. Lead with love, guard with compassion. Stand not above the people, but among them, and they will follow without you needing to ask. This is your time, Leo, not to prove, but to fully, fiercely, fearlessly. And when your name is spoken in the quiet spaces of people's hearts, it will be with gratitude, not just admiration. Tell me, Leo, will you rise for yourself, or will you rise for the world that has been waiting for you? Taurus, the unshakable awakening. Taurus, the earth beneath you has always been your foundation, solid, predictable, safe. But the universe, in its infinite wisdom, knows that even the strongest roots must feel the tremor before the blossom. What you feel stirring now is not instability, it is the ancient signal of change, calling you to rise into a truer version of yourself. You have lived as the steady builder, the loyal guardian, the dependable force in a shifting world. But the cosmic currents of 2025, whispered in the cryptic visions of Baba Vanga and hinted at in the guarded lines of Nostradamus, speak of an unshakable soul who will be asked to move, not because they are weak, but because they are ready. This is your signal, Taurus, the one you've been feeling in your bones before your mind dared to name it. The comfort zones that once felt like home may now feel like cages. This is not failure, this is sacred discomfort, the universe's way of guiding you toward your expansion. Doors you didn't even know existed will swing open. Offers, ideas, and alliances will appear seemingly out of thin air. These are not coincidences, they are divine appointments. They are the universe leaning in and asking, will you step forward when the ground is unfamiliar, but prepared just for you? Numerology marks this season with the vibration of the number 5, the number of freedom, adventure, and sacred change. It is the number that unbinds the soul from the safe and familiar so it can discover the vastness of its own potential. But freedom, Taurus, requires trust, trust in yourself, in the signs, and in the still, quiet voice that often whispers long before the mind is ready to agree. Yes, there will be challenges. Your practicality will be tested, your patience stretched. You will be asked to choose not just with logic, but with spirit. This is a balancing act between your inner architect and your inner mystic. You will need both, because the wealth that is coming to you now is not only financial, it is emotional depth, spiritual clarity, and relationships that feel like home to your soul. And remember this, the universe never calls you forward unless it has already laid the stones before your feet. You may not see the whole road yet, but each step will reveal itself in perfect timing. Your task is not to rush, but to remain steady in your courage and open in your heart. August is not simply another month on the calendar, it is your doorway. Beyond it lies the chapter where your quiet strength becomes unshakable leadership, where your grounded nature becomes the very thing that allows others to grow in your presence. This is the Taurus that the world has been waiting for, the pillar that does not resist the wind, but uses it to carry seeds of new beginnings far beyond the horizon. Reflect on this, Taurus. What part of your life feels like it's ending, and could that ending actually be an opening? When was the last time you trusted your heart over your logic, and what beauty came from it? Are you willing to walk into the unknown if you knew the ground was already blessed? The tree that never bends will break in the storm, but the one that sways will always find the sun. The universe is speaking. The question is, will you listen? If these words have stirred something in your heart, do not let them pass like a dream upon waking. Ground your intention in the sacred field of this moment by writing in the comments, I align my focus with divine abundance. This is not just a sentence, it is a vow, a seed planted in the fertile soil of your consciousness. Each time you declare it, you water that seed, and with time it grows roots deep into your soul's purpose, blossoming into the life you are destined to live. Subscribe to Buddhism Mindset and walk this sacred path with a global circle of awakened souls, seekers, dreamers, and keepers of ancient light, who, like you, are choosing to live not by accident, but by alignment. Let this channel be a temple you return to in moments of doubt, a reminder that you are not alone in your journey. Like this video, to anchor your energy into the shared vibration we are weaving together, and share it with those whose spirit you wish to awaken. Remember, when you share wisdom, you become part of the very stream of wisdom itself. And if your heart feels called, offer a gift in return. In Buddhist tradition, this is dana, the sacred act of giving. Dana is not measured by the size of the offering, but by the purity of the heart from which it flows. When you give with presence, the universe mirrors that presence back to you as grace. Your generosity becomes a silent prayer sent out into the cosmos, returning to you in ways both seen and unseen. Let this message live within you, not as mere content that fades, but as a calling that shapes the way you rise tomorrow. Carry it into the quiet spaces of your day, into your work, your relationships, your thoughts before sleep. Remember that alignment is not found in rushing toward the future, but in fully arriving in the now. Stay present, stay aligned, keep listening for the whispers beneath the noise, for they carry the map to your true destiny. And when you are ready, return here, for in the vast expanse of this world, our paths will meet again in the next transmission.